I wasn't originally going to make a commentary video on this run since it wasn't a PB or anything, but there are some things that happened in this run that I want to explain. This was actually my first ever buried treasure seed that I completed. This was in a private room, and as you can see, I am not the best at locating the buried treasures yet. I had all seed types enabled in this private room and it was just playing what it gave me. If I ended up digging in the wrong chunk, then I would see change and move on. So as you can see, I got to 9-9. I didn't swim down the quick way just because I was afraid of missing the block, but for this one it was pretty obvious which block the chest was under. So I ended up getting a good amount of loot here. Only 5 cooked salmon, which I think is a bit low in total for buried treasure seeds. But I make a gold pressure plate there instead of going for the gold pick route or just using the 3 gold total to distract the piglins with. I don't actually use the TNT first because I don't notice any 2 trees that are very close to each other. So I do the standard ocean seed type thing of taking down 2 logs, making a crafting table and 8 sticks. But then I run over here and blow up these 2 oak trees. So as that's happening, I make all my tools because I had plenty of iron for everything I needed. Now, shears weren't really necessary because you get a good amount of dirt from using the TNT. So really, I shouldn't have spent time mining leaves if I did end up doing that. I actually don't really remember. But I used the birchwood to make the doors and boat just to get the majority of it out of my inventory. And I get lucky there with the flint chops. I think it was only the 2nd gravel that I broke. So I see that I don't have that many planks in my inventory despite blowing up 2 trees. So I just grab a little bit more just so I have enough for a good amount of beds. Then I check my block amount, see that I don't really have much. And this right here was just a stupid thing I did of going for more leaves. I try to find those low down trees just so the leaves would be easier to get. I grab a stack there and end up tossing out the 26 extra dirt I had, which I mean, if I went back into this run I wouldn't have tossed that dirt out because it's still blocks you can use during the run. And right here I focus on the pigs just because I saw there was more of them than sheep. And I should have just left after killing 2 pigs as well. It was kind of a time waste going for more pork chops there. But I boat along looking for a good ravine. And I'll speed the video up right here because it's just me boating around. The ravine that I end up going to was close, you could say. You can see that it kind of dissected into 2 different ravines. But I find a nice L shape here that I can make use of for the portal. Rest in peace to that fish that died right there. Accidentally opened the door right there. Minor time loss. I organized my hotbar a bit. I see the fort right there, and plus the bastion right here. And because of the way that I was facing, I noticed immediately that it was a bridge bastion, so I go up here and take down the whole chalice. Make a gold helmet there. I really should spend 3 gold to make a gold pickaxe at least. That's just another thing I have to get better at micro-wise when it comes to speedruns. So then I take a look up top to see which side has the triple. And I end up going up here, and this hoglin proves to be really annoying. I was kind of like weird when it came to setting up this route because of the hoglin there. I probably should have spent time to just burn it with lava because then I could have gotten more food too. And then I accidentally fumble and drop my whole stack of gold there, so I end up taking a hit from that guy. And I end up not getting that many pigs here. I heard that there were a bunch below me, and I saw that they were trapped in this little quadrant of the lower part of the triple. I don't really know how there got to be so many piglins in there, but I tried to make a route up for them, but they were just really stubborn, so I ended up just punching one. And then I don't know how, but a bunch of them started burning. I guess there was fire on their way up. Then that guy hit just longer to get into the hole. And then these guys just won't stop attacking me. And I see that guy there. Luckily he pathfinds into the hole. Block that up, and then I already know where the fort is, so I can spend a little more time organizing my inventory and get everything set up for the fortress split. I have a really good amount of fire res, and at this point, pork chops are the only food I have left, but luckily that is a very good food source. I accidentally pick up some of my junk there, but it's fine. One thing I was nervous about was I only had 6 arrows and I was working with a bow instead of a crossbow. Because I haven't really learned how to zero cycle yet, I like using a crossbow better. I just feel that I have better aim with it than a regular bow. So I head back out this direction to go to the fort. I wide macro there to see if there was any better terrain, but I decided that this was the best route, to crawl there and then dig up and into the fort. Unfortunately, I dug right into a dead end of it, so I had to run a bit, and I didn't have my gravel on my hotbar to head hitter with. But I heard the blaze spawner right there, so I block off that corridor in case there are any wither skeletons nearby. And then this right here is where I mess up. I forgot the block above the spawner, so I accidentally blow up the spawner. And I was panicking at that point. I thought to myself I should just sea change. But I decided to keep going and see if I could locate the second spawner. I went down that way. I didn't want to go down that lava tunnel route. And if the spawner was down that lava tunnel, I was going to be very sad. Luckily, the second spawner wasn't far. And I was really nervous about doing this one correctly because I kind of just brain farted on the first one and forgot the block above the spawner. So I noticed there was an air block there, so it was kind of messy to deal with. And then like another round of blazes spawns in, so I have to deal with them before I can officially get a good blaze bed off. So it was just a lot I was messing up here. And then like I can't stand under the block because I placed another brick there, and then another blaze spawns in. And I'm also trying to keep track of how much fire res I have left. So I end up not going down the block and just blowing it up like that, which does end up working out, and I don't blow up the second spawner. If I did blow up the second spawner, you would not be seeing this commentary. And I accidentally placed that soul sand 1 block too high. I also was just kind of slow in general with extending the platform out. Unfortunately, I only got a 1 spawn there, so not great. And then I looked at my timer here, I'm pretty sure, saw that it was at 10:42. Realized that this was not PB pace. The rates weren't great, so I could slow down a little bit and take more time to think about things. I did have 6 rods at this point, so I just decided to blind and go for it. If I ended up with an ocean spawn, I was going to be kind of sad, because it's just extra time to get the eye back if you don't go out there with 7 rods. So I get those 2 guys to spawn in, but neither of them drops a rod, so I'm still sitting on 6. And my inventory is completely full at this point. Luckily, no ocean blind, so I'm able to easily pick up both of my eyes after this. And I'm still working on getting the projector set up so you guys can see it in recordings. I tried some different things out and they just weren't working, but I'll try to put more effort into it. So I do think it would be a good idea to have the measuring projector on screen for you guys to see. So then I don't actually know where that eye ended up at all. It kind of just disappeared there. I didn't catch if it broke or not, but I was just not able to pick it up. But luckily, right when I enter, I get a 3 spawn of blazes, and the second one I kill right there drops the rod, and I'm able to head to cores. Now, one new thing that I've added since this run was the angle tab on Ninja BrainBot, so I can see which angle to face when using my pearls to get the second portal built. So see that I still have to go a bunch of blocks this way, so I just decided to chuck another pearl in there, and that actually gets me pretty close to neg 372. So I'm gonna skip ahead a bit because it's just me slowly bridging to chords. Just look at how slow this is. I wish I could do this faster. Put my render back down to 8. Entity distance was already on 50% from the buried treasure. Then I get in here, check out some stuff I don't need, and and do the whole preemptive thing. I don't really get a good spike here. Everything just kind of looked the same, honestly. But I got like half a spike right there, so I decided to send it in that direction. And I see something good that way. Hit that block clutch, but then right here, this was just ugly, so I ended up going down to get to it. And this leads me to the spawner. Or portal room. That's the same thing, technically. Put all my eyes in, and it's a buried enter. I also am still working on learning how to pro clip through here because it is just so much of a time sink to have to dig up through the end stone. Even if you had a diamond pickaxe, it still takes a good 6 or 7 seconds to get to the top. I organize my hotbar a bit more as I'm running. I eat my last cooked pork chop as I set up for the 1 cycle. Then right here, Dragon Fireballs, but luckily I jumped up a block in time so that Dragon's Breath doesn't end up being a problem. Remember how I only had 6 arrows? I say I worked with them decently well. I was able to take out about half of the towers there. And I apologize for the bitrate as well. The Dragon's Breath is just terrible for that. Ended up looking at an Enderman, but that wasn't a problem since I was able to easily get him in a boat. And I've gotten a lot better with my anchors too, I think. And this ended up being a 2+4. Those anchors weren't the best. I have actually gotten way better at it because I'm pretty sure I was hitting the wrong anchor first. But there it is, Buried Treasure 1535 756.